Hi, it's great meeting you all once again with the fourth and last chapter of the first block, Flights of Freedom, from our English text. We have learned how important it is to emancipate women from the clutches of male supremacy. We also understood the quantum of work a mother does and how necessary it is to empower a woman. Backward, turn backward, O time, in your flight. Make me child again just for tonight. These are the lines taken from Rock Me to Sleep by Elizabeth Chase Eckers Allen, an American author and poet, showcasing or remembering the nostalgic reference to the good old childhood days often fills our mind with freshness and vigor. Vigor means strength or force and revitalizes us. Again, this means to give enough energy to go forward with confidence. Memory is a process of preserving and recovering the incidents that happen in our life. Most often, we forget what we learned and what we experienced. However, there are certain incidents that stays deep inside our heart. Most often, it is related with nostalgic feeling. Nostalgia means the incidents that happened in the past or during our childhood. Today, we are into an anecdote from Sudhamurthy's life. An anecdote means a short account of real incident. Sudhamurthy was born in 1950 at Shigong in North Karnataka. An M.Tech in computer science, she teaches computer science to postgraduate students, a prolific writer in English and Kannada. She has written novels, technical books, travelogues, collections of short stories, and non-fiction pieces. Horigulu is taken from The Old Man and His God, Discovering the Spirit of India, published in 2006 by the Penguin Books, New Delhi. She is currently the chairman of Infosys Foundation, a non-profit charity organization which is a part of IT giant Infosys, which was co-founded by her husband N.R. Narayanamurthy. She was instrumental in transforming Karnataka in the field of IT education. In addition, Sudhamurthy is a philanthropist, meaning a person who loves humankind in general. Probably that made her introduce computer and library facilities in all schools in Karnataka. She is also a member of public health initiated by the Gate Foundation. As far as women empowerment, Sudhamurthy plays a vital role. She had written a postcard to the company's chairman complaining of the men-only gender bias at Telco. As a result, she was granted a special interview and hired immediately. Listen carefully to the text Horegallu by Sudhamurthy. Hot summer days remind me of my childhood in a little village. There was a large banyan tree right in the middle of the village, and I would spend many hours playing under it during my holidays. The tree was like a massive umbrella, with its branches providing much needed shade and succor. Travelers spent some time sitting under it and catching their breath before going on their way. To make them comfortable, there was a horegallu under the tree. Horegallu literally means a stone that can bear weight. It was a large flat stone placed horizontally over two vertical ones, thus making a stone bench on which anyone could sit and rest a while, chat with a fellow traveler, and exchange news of the road. Cool water would be kept in earthen pots near the bench, and people could quench their thirst before starting their journeys again. I am sure similar simple arrangements can be found in villages all over the country. What did the hot summer noon remind Sudhamurthy of? Yes, it reminded her of her childhood days in the village along with her grandfather. She also remembers the huge banyan tree in the middle of the village where she used to spend hours playing during holidays. How is this banyan tree helpful? Yes, how was the banyan tree helpful? It was like a massive umbrella, meaning a large umbrella providing much shade and succor. Succor means support. To get comfortable, the travelers spend some time sitting under it, and catching their breath means taking rest before going on their way. There is something under the tree that makes the travelers comfortable, and that is Horegallu. And now, what is Horegallu? Horegallu literally means a stone bench. Literally again means what you say exactly, the meaning exactly what the words say. Opposite of literally is figuratively. Hence, literally means in a straightforward manner. Okay, now we are talking about Horegallu. Horegallu is a large flat stone placed horizontally over two vertical ones, thus making a stone bench. What do you think is the purpose of the stone bench, children? Yes. As given in the paragraph, you can see that it can be used to sit and rest for a while. Again, you can chat there. Chat means talk with a fellow traveler or speak with the people around. Then you can exchange news of the route. Moreover, you can find an earthen pot holding cold water kept near the bench, which enable the travelers to quench their thirst. Quench means to satisfy. I'm sure similar arrangement means Sudhamurti expects such Horegallus all around the villages in our country, providing comfort for the travelers. Now moving on to the next paragraph. Now the next paragraph. The Horegallu in our village holds special memories for me, as it is inextricably linked with my grandfather. He was a retired schoolmaster and would spend hours every day sitting under the banyan tree and talking to those resting there. When I would get tired of playing, I would sit next to him and observe the people he was speaking to and listen to their conversations. Most of them were villagers taking a break from their work in the fields nearby. They had to walk long distances each day, carrying heavy burdens on their heads. Tired out by the heat, they would drink the cool water, wash their faces, and with it and chat with grandfather. Their conversation would be about their daily lives and worries. Inextricably is one of the new words which we often don't use in our daily conversation. This means impossible to erase from our one's mind. So the memory is linked with Sudhamurti's childhood days with her grandfather. Her grandfather was a retired school teacher who used to spend hours under the banyan tree talking with those resting there. Whenever she was tired of playing, she often joined them and listened to their conversation. Most of the villagers who took rest were working in the nearby fields. They had to walk long distance carrying heavy burdens on their head. They drank the cold waters, even washed their faces, and had chat with the grandfather. Burden here can mean the heavy load carried on the heads by the workers. It can also mean the troubles and tribulations. It means the adversities or the difficult times a person has in his life. In this paragraph, we find how the workers relieve or relax themselves from the burdens on the Horegallu. Now moving on to the next paragraph. Master Ji, this summer has been so hot. I have never seen such dry weather. Or, Master Ji, it is getting difficult for me to carry these large loads on my head. Thank God for this Horegallu. I wish my son would help, but he only wants to go to the city. They spoke about the difficulties they lived with. My grandfather could only listen to them, but just talking to him seemed to refresh them for the journey. After some time, they would pick up their burdens with some ease and go on their way. The Horegallu was an important feature in their lives, and as a child, I would often not understand why they buzzed so often for being there. After all, it was only a stone bench. It was my grandfather who told me, "Child, a Horegallu is essential in any journey. We all carry our burdens according to our situations and capacities. But every once in a while, we need to stop, put down that burden and rest. Only then can we be refreshed enough to pick up the load once more." The Horegallu gives everyone that opportunity to do so. It helps people regain their strength. They shared their pity feelings with Masterji. They believed that they were too old to carry the burdens in their further life. They wished their children would help them. But the children were no longer interested in such works. They wanted to settle in cities. And such small affairs that disturbed them were shared with the grandfather. Just sharing their worries refreshed them and helped them pick up their burdens with some ease, and hence Oregulu was an important feature in their lives. Sudhamuti never understood why they blessed it for being there. She thought that it was just a stone bench. Grandfather made her understand how essential Horegulu was in any journey, because all carried burdens according to their situation and capacities. They need to stop for a while, put down their burden and rest, which helps them to refresh and pick the road once more. The last lines of this paragraph is the theme of the anecdote. The Horegulu gives everyone that opportunity to do so. It helps people regain their strength. Yes, in the journey of life, we need to rest sometimes, refresh ourselves, and carry the burden of life once again. Somewhere in the life, we may meet persons or people like grandfather who will serve as an Horegulu just by listening. Here we find the workers, by talking to grandfather, finding relaxed. In this small chapter Horegulu, Sudhamurti weaves two incidents together. The first incident is related with the grandfather. That is what we learned today. I think this is enough for today. Thank you. Stay home. Stay safe.